board chairman of Tullow PLC, Futhuma Leku, has commended Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh for his great leadership in ensuring the first oil from the Jubilee Southeast area of the Greater Jubilee Field. According to Leku, Dr. Prempeh, as minister, provided President Akufo-Addo with the essential project information, held impartial conversations with stakeholders, and approved the Greater Jubilee Plan of Development. He made these statements while speaking to Ghana's upstream petroleum sector stakeholders during a commemorative lunch with the president on Friday, September 8, 2023, at the Best Western Plus Atlantic Hotel in Takoradi. This was to commemorate the first oil from the project, which is expected to generate an additional 30,000 barrels of oil per day, increasing Greater Jubilee Field production to more than 100,000 barrels of oil per day. Energy Minister Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh has stated that the country is aiming to cut carbon emissions throughout the energy sector value chain. He explained at the Africa Climate Summit in Nairobi, Kenya, that this action is mandated by Ghana's National Energy Transition Strategy. Dr. Matthew Opoku-Prempeh expressed the belief that Ghana will continue to reduce its carbon footprint while providing necessary socio-economic growth. The Nigerian Air Force has announced plans to purchase 2 aircraft to combat crude oil theft in the country. The Nigerian Air Force's Director of Operations, AVM Abdul Ganiyu, said this during a press briefing at the House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee probing oil theft and revenue loss by the federal government. AVM Ganiyu informed MPs that pilot training for the available aircraft and those due soon was underway and that they would be ready for deployment by the end of the month. He urged relevant authorities with the necessary technology to locate illegal bunkering sites without wasting time in getting such locations across to NAF, promising that precision steps will be conducted from force bases to eliminate such sites and their illegal operations. Nigeria Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency informed NAF of timely information on identified unlawful bunkering sites via its extremely sensitive monitoring gadgets in its presentation. The Nigerian Middle and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Agency attributed the majority of the oil and revenue loss on measurement flaws in the production line as well as at the fuel dispensing stage for end consumers. G20 leaders have advocated for strong, sustainable and inclusive growth as a response to the world's uneven recovery from pandemic-infused looting and highlighted trillions of dollars that countries would need to meet their climate targets and renewable energy technology. The New Delhi Declaration, adopted at the summit of the world's top 20 economies held under India's presidency, also called for the reform of international financial institutions, the management of low and middle-income countries' debt vulnerabilities, and the start of exchange of tax-relevant information on crypto assets by 2027. The proclamation called for increased measures to reduce unabated coal power, the elimination of ineffective fossil fuel subsidies, and low-cost funding for poor countries' energy transition, while developing countries require $5.8 to $5.9 trillion for climate targets before 2030. The globe would require an additional $4 trillion per year investment by 2030 to help achieve a net zero carbon emission goal by 2050. Visit www.energyghanamagazine.com for more on these stories. Energy Brief is proudly brought to you by Airport View Hotel. Energy Ghana TV. Local in focus, global in perspective.